Some of the toughest players to rank for 2024 right now on Fantasy Football Today Express. It's Adam and Jamey here. And Jamey, you tell me, you do rankings every day. So who are some of the toughest players to rank for you?
So I'll give you spots per position. So for me, the quarterbacks, I just made this switch, was Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray. And it's not that they're tough to necessarily rank because you want to have these guys. They're really good, but it's a matter of who's better than the other player. And I had a buddy might ask me this. Hey, what'd you do yesterday? So I changed some of my rankings. I just changed. So I told him I Kyler over Dak. He said, why? So I said, well, the rushing upside. I think if Kyler is back to being Kyler, that sort of separates him a little bit. And the addition of Marvin Harrison and what Trey McBride showed last year, and I think based on the schedule as well, Murray just has a little bit of a higher ceiling. So while Dak was better than him last year, and I don't think that Kyler's best season has been better than Dak's best season, if I'm not mistaken. And 6 points for passing touchdowns. So you're asking Kyler to do something that he hasn't done yet, but clearly it's on the table, So what he showed in his comeback last year, the additions that they made this offseason is not just Marvin Harrison. I think Zay Jones will be a good addition. I think, Trey Benson will be a good addition as a playmaker out of the backfield as well. So I just like the setup for him, and I think he'll do, some different things that will remind us of just how good Kyler Murray can be at times, but over the course of a full season. Running back, another switch that I made was Derrick Henry over. Why am I blanking? Derrick Henry over.
Not ETN. Please don't say ETN.
No, right behind ETN.
James Cook
over James Cook.
And so I don't like it.
I'll tell you why. We've seen Derrick Henry do this before, right? We've seen him in a good environment be very productive. And this is a good environment. And we go back to last year. How did he do when the team was winning? He was amazing, right?
Yeah, it's really good. If I had to guess, something like 18 points per game, like elite almost.
And I think he's going to do that again. I know 30. I know it's tough to continue to do this, and Father Time's undefeated, and I get it. But as much as I love James Cook, and again, it was one spot difference. As much as I love James Cook, we're asking him, I think, to score a certain amount of touchdowns that are going to put him in a different category than what Henry can do just by finding the end zone. Like, what was the over-under you gave? 13.5?
12 and a half, I think.
12.5. And Gus Edwards scored how many in this offense last year?
I don't remember. About 13. Yep. Yeah. But okay, so how many total touchdowns for James Cook would you say?
I'm hopeful for 10.
And how many total touchdowns for Derrick Henry?
I'm going to say 17 or 18.
That's 70 points. Let's just say roughly 70 points. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, that's 7 times 6. That's 42 points.
Yep.
I think James Cook can almost make that up in catches.
So, Henry. I'm a big proponent of him being a significant part of the passing game, right? They lost 240 targets.
Yeah.
And what they replaced them with are a lot of ifs and ands. And so can he get to 70 catches? That's the number for me. Can he get to 70 catches?
A lot. I'm hoping for 60.
Well, he was on pace for, again, I'm Aizer statting. You take away the game where he had no catches, which was a fluke in that stretch, in my opinion.
I would never take that game away. But okay, go ahead.
But yeah, no, like it was like a 5-catch game, a 4-catch game, a 0-catch game, a 4-catch game, a 5-catch game. Like that's what he was doing.
Who was it against?
I don't remember.
Cowboys.
In any event, it just feels like that there's going to be one more Derrick Henry season, and this is it.
That's fine. Yeah, I would. Okay, I understand because he should have a touchdown edge. Yeah, only 21 pass attempts in that game for Josh Allen when Cook didn't have any catches. I'm going to tell you. What's that?
Was it Dallas?
No, it was the week after. It was the Chargers. So yeah, just one thing for me.
Oh, that was that fluky game, yeah, where they had the field goal against the game-winning field goal.
Yeah,
without Herbert playing.
Right. So, right. What was it? Oh, lost my train of thought. My most difficult player to rank. I'm going to tell you after we take this quick break on Fantasy Football Today. All right, back on FFT Express. So, toughest player to rank for me is DeAndre Swift. I have no idea what to make of him. I think Khalil Herbert's pretty good. He should have a role. Roschon Johnson is a year 2 running back who played on passing downs last year. Does he just completely go away? This would change if they trade Khalil Herbert. But also Jacob brought up on Wednesday's FFT episode, DeAndre Swift, he said he's one of the worst short yardage backs. And, his 3rd down and 4th down and 1 conversion rate is pretty bad. So he had 5 over the last 2 seasons. He's had 8 carries from inside the 3-yard line. He scored 2 touchdowns. He was better earlier in his career, but yeah, I don't really know if he'll get that role. So I just usually don't draft Swift. I have no idea what to make of him. I've been saying that basically since they signed him. He's the one guy that really perplexes me, Jamey.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really the whole range of running backs. When you get Jonathan Brooks is kind of a unique situation just because of his injury. Because I think if he was healthy, we all would probably have him ranked higher or be prepared to draft him higher. But it's DeAndre Swift, it's James Conner, it's Aaron Jones, it's you throw Ramondre Stevenson in there if you want to. Pollard, Spears, there's just a lot of different Najee Harris. Like you see the flaws, you see the upside. So I think you don't want to reach for DeAndre Swift. He's not a bad guy to settle for as your third running back. In some cases, it'll be your second running back, depending on how you draft. But, as long as you're not, planning him to be a difference maker on your fantasy team in the current environment, then I think you should be okay.
I'm not sure I see the upside with him, though. Because
if Herbert is gone,
like I said, that would change everything.
In the current framework of what the Bears' backfield looks like, it's tough to say he's going to be a difference maker.
Yeah, because, I don't know how many rushing touchdowns Caleb Williams will have, but he had 21 in his last 2 seasons at USC. So obviously he can score too. All right, anyone else stand out to you as difficult to rank?
A name we talk about a lot is Malik Nabers. Daniel Jones did not look good in practice yesterday, and a lot of his passes, according to reports, were to Wan'Dale Robinson. So, is Nabers going to get the Giants Odell Beckham slant treatment? I think that's going to be big for him if he does. If it's a lot of relying on plays down the field, that's not Daniel Jones' strength, at least from what we've seen. And this offensive line right now is not necessarily going to, I think, sell people on giving Jones time to throw the ball down the field. But there's still an opportunity for a hefty amount of targets. Now, you're seeing Nabers go best ball round 2, some cases round 3. I'm about 30 minutes away from doing the first St. Jude draft, and we've had a fun message board going already. And somebody, I think, thought you were in the draft with us, said, Adam, I'm pulling the trigger on Nabers in round 3. And I was like, I can't get behind that. But
I can't do it.
You asked me Rashee Rice versus Malik Nabers. This is assuming Rice is not suspended. I don't see how Rice is not better than Nabers.
Certainly in PPR, you'd think so. Daniel Jones apparently said, I think he said he wants to get the ball out quickly. That's a priority this year. And that makes sense with their offensive line. And we got time for one more, maybe a tight end. It's difficult to rank.
Yes. Let's go with David Njoku, because he was, one of the best fantasy playoff performers last year. And he had some big games with Joe Flacco. And it's like, does he have the opportunity to build off of that? He's great with the ball in his hands. We know that, athletically, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. But can he produce with Deshaun Watson with another mouth to feed? He was bad with Watson last year, 3 of 5 games, under 7 PPR points. So will he get back to being, did he just break through and, Kevin Stefanski can't put that back in the box? Or is Deshaun Watson going to hold him down because of Cooper, because of Elijah Moore, because of Judy, because of Cedric Tillman, whatever the case may be? So Njoku right now is tight end 12 for me, and I don't think I'm going to draft very many shares of him.
Okay, that's Jamey Eisenberg. I'm Adam Aizer. This has been Fantasy Football Today Express, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.